Christchurch built history is slowly whittling away with every demolition of a heritage building, but one Christchurch historian says there's more being lost than the bricks and timber.
Christchurch looks like it's missing its front teeth, really, isn't it? It's just incredibly sad how much history has gone off the streets, really. And as a historian, and I'm sure many others like me, I look at these buildings as a character in itself, as a persona as themselves. I catch myself chatting to buildings, to be honest, especially when they're a bit of a mess and everything like that. So we really are. What I find really sad is that a lot of people walking past these places and not realising what a wonderful, colourful history of who built the buildings and who worked there. And it's quite an interesting puzzle to put together. I was very heartbroken this week about the Wards Brewery losing their brick kiln. And what is really sad is that the Ward brothers were on the Charlotte Jane, which was our very, very first ship out of the Canterbury Association. And Hamilton Ward was his brothers actually drowned in Littleton Harbour in 1851, and he grew up and opened the Wards Brewery, which is that last building we've just lost this week. It was in the news. And again, how many people don't know that it has links to our first four ships, and that business went on to become DB Brewery. So it's just the Christchurch is just full of these wonderful links and stories, and it's such a joy to put together the puzzle of it all. And with each building that comes down, we're losing, generations are losing this knowledge, and aren't ever going to know about this wonderful, wonderful story.
I suppose a lot of people don't look past the built heritage, and that's what the focus has been on since the earthquakes. But you're looking more into the people behind it, and do you believe that's just as important to carry on forward into the future?
Yeah, well, that's where my heart is. My heart is with the people that built these places. And but again, like I said to you, these buildings are a persona in themselves, and they've got a great story to tell. I mean, the bricks in these buildings are over 100 years old in themselves. I mean, they're just as important as the old trees and things like that. So it just breaks my heart to think that these, I grew up, I went to Cotswold Primary in Bishopdale, and that's where my love for early Christchurch began. We walked the bottle path as children, and we learnt the first four ships, and I don't think the children are getting the same education today, which is really sad. And with the loss of these buildings to the quakes, that just is making it worse. That these people and those who made our city and the buildings that we've taken for granted up until now, probably most of us, are going to be lost.
Would you like to see more emphasis be put on the people behind this built heritage rather than just the heritage and the rebuilt and in memorials?
Absolutely, because some of these names are in our streets. Edward James Fitzgerald, of course, of Fitzgerald Ave, was not only our superintendent, but he founded the press. He was he opened the press, and he also was the first settler off the Charlotte Jane to step on shore. And yeah, it'd be nice to see more storyboards, I think, around the place and things like that. There are plaques around the city, but if you don't look down, you don't see them.
It's too true.